reindeer today, you will need a pencil with an eraser, a sharpie or a black marker for outlining, crayons, markers, whatever you like to color with. So go ahead and grab your materials and come back with me. To begin with our reindeer drawing, we're gonna have our paper vertical up and down. We are gonna fold it horizontal, corner to corner, opening it back up and folding it again vertical, corner to corner. This is going to create a T in the middle of our paper and help us with our measurements. Right in the middle, we are gonna have our reindeer's nose, his eyes, his head, the antlers going into the corner, and then down below his body hanging over a fence. So grabbing your pencil, you're gonna start in the middle, making your reindeer's nose 2 or 3 fingers, and you're just gonna think about kind of an oval shape. So my fingers are kind of big, so I'm gonna start with 2. And I'm making the marks on either side right there. If you're younger, you can make 3. And then I'm just gonna do my very best to make a oval for my reindeer's nose. And I went a little bit outside my marks, so I'm gonna erase those. And now around it, we are gonna have his mouth down below. So I am going to go around and up. And this is gonna be my reindeer smile. Doing your best to get it symmetrical, you can see, oops, I went too high there. We always make mistakes, and that's why we use pencil to erase. So I suggest drawing light, taking your time to get the face how you want. That's better. Now, off of his nose is going to be his eyes, and these are going to be tall ovals, almost like a fingerprint. And inside there's going to be a tiny white circle for light, and then a larger circle here where he's going to be kind of looking up. And I'll repeat the same thing. So we're talking about using this T as a guide for making sure things are symmetrical on the face of our reindeer. So I could tell I went above that T line over here, so I erased it and got it right. I can see his eye. It's about a finger measurement, but there's a little space right here in between this folded line. So I don't want to draw it right here on it. I want the space equal in between. And then looking to have that same height. And if you don't get it right the first time, that's okay. You can go back and erase. Much better. Again, having that little circle of light and the oval of light above. Now I have my reindeer's eyes, and I'm gonna go outside and make what looks like an arched rainbow. Again, I didn't get it equal. I didn't get it symmetrical, the same on both sides. So let's try by looking at the top. Above his eyes, I'm gonna go about 2 fingers. And then that's when I'm gonna curve, and I have just a little bit of that face hanging out. So I'm gonna curve, and use your fingers to measure. I got about 1.5 fingers. 1.5 fingers, so I was right here. I just need to kind of curve that a little bit better. And then I have just a little bit of that cheek hanging out. So taking time to get your drawing just right and how you want it is always the hard part. You can come back a different day and color it. So now I have the head of my reindeer. I'm gonna work diagonally into each corner to create his antlers. And so starting off thinking about this corner, I'm gonna take my pencil, drawing a line to it. Oops, I'm gonna curve and go up instead. Finger, maybe a finger and a half if you've got tiny fingers. And I'm keeping the space equal distance. And then bringing it out into the corner. Keeping it equal, so if that was a finger, this will be a finger. So there's his antler. And I'm gonna make just a little small part of his antler and bring it back down. Let's try that on this side. So again, I'm thinking I'm gonna go diagonal, but I go up, create one part of the antler, then I'm gonna go out, bring this little one in, and so there are the antlers for my reindeer. His ears are gonna kind of overlap on top, so again, we're gonna erase here. And I'm gonna go a little bit on top of the antler, curve out the top, thinking about maybe 3 fingers. Erase. So this is the outside of his ear here, and this is the inside that we're seeing. Trying my best to keep it symmetrical on the other side, knowing I'm gonna overlap here, gonna get that curve, and then it's gonna go in, lining it up where I had it, getting the curve up to the point, and erase. Now my reindeer is hanging over a wooden fence. So I'm going to put 4 fingers, 4 fingers, 4 fingers, and this is gonna be the wooden fence down here below, which means his body is going to curve and curve. And then in this curve, and if you look at your curves, that one doesn't have the same slope, so I'm gonna change it up. Trying to really focus more on symmetry. And then I can measure on the side, okay, that's 2 fingers. So bringing that one in a little bit more. Okay, then he's gonna have a curve inside. And his hooves are hanging over the fence. So this is gonna kind of look like a rectangle for his black hoof, and there's a upside down V in there for it. Let's do it on this side. I've got kind of like a square and a V. Okay, so I have my reindeer. He's hanging over that wooden fence, but it doesn't really look like a wooden fence right now. So a wooden fence is made of different pieces of wood. So here's one piece of wood. I nailed it in, and then I have some kind of wiggly lines for the grain of the wood. That's 3 fingers wide. Next piece of wood is 3 fingers wide. I can't make the nail because, again, my reindeer's hoof is over it, but I can draw the grain of the wood with my oval, with my wavy lines. 3 fingers. Here's another piece of wood with that nail to the fence. I got the nail here and some grain of the wood going down. So I have this fence. Now he's outside. So I'm gonna draw some trees. So on that folded line, I'm gonna make what looks like an upside down V with a wavy line, going again with a wavy line. And I'm just stacking different layers of pine trees. There's the trunk and the ground, and it's kind of snowy. gonna make one peeking behind it, so a little bit above that folded line, upside down V with a wavy line. Bringing it out. Bringing it out. Over here, repeating on the folded line, upside down V, wavy line, wavy line, wavy line, trunk of the tree and the ground. Another one behind, getting that overlapping to really add lots of detail in the picture. There we go. Now, my reindeer's looking up. What is he looking up at? Maybe he has some string of lights. So the lights are wrapped around his antlers. So they started here, they wrapped behind, and they're coming up front. And then around front, and then a little square and an oval for the light. A little square and an oval with the point for the light. A little square and an oval with the point for the light. Let's do the same on the other side. That string's coming around the back, wrapping around the front, going behind this one. Wrapping in the front, going behind, wrapping in the front and off the page. So I'm gonna make a little square with the oval light. Gonna have to erase that antler because the light is in front. Same here. And let's do one more here. So that reindeer's saying, geez, what do I have all these lights doing? Let's have a string of lights coming off the paper. A little square and an oval. A little square and an oval. And one more. Now you could have, if you didn't like the lights, you could have made snowflakes. If I'm gonna add a snowflake, it is an X with a plus and then little V's. Looks like a bursted snowflake. Okay. Now I can outline in Sharpie and color in marker. When I outline in Sharpie, starting with those eyes because that's important, I want to know that that's going to be white, that's going to be white, and everything inside is black. If you don't have a Sharpie, you can outline in black crayon, black marker, or colored pencil. You could paint this if you wanted. Okay, now that I have one of my drawings outlined in Sharpie, color with crayons, markers, whatever you decide. So I just finished coloring my reindeer and I wanted to share with you just a few things. When I was going in for the trees, I used green marker and you can see the vertical lines that I colored, but I left the bottom white and it looks like snow. I thought that was pretty cool. With the reindeer, this part was his belly, so I matched it for his face and under his ears. And then with the wood, I mixed together brown and gray and black to give it a little different texture. I also added a little white line for some light shining on the reindeer hooves. I hope you really enjoyed this lesson and you have fun coloring your reindeer. Happy holidays.